That's right. Ooh, okay, watch it. Well, listen. Life is mean. All right, let's see. Let's get us. Oh, no, I don't think we're started. Let's see. We might be started. I don't know. We're going to fade it. Boom.
I could hear you. Oh, wait, it's on, Daddy. It's blinking.
It's always blinking.
Oh, it is? Okay.
All right.
It's blinking when we're
Right.
The party was jumping when Bertha got off of her stump. The whistles were blowing and everybody did the bump. But all the time Bertha had been working on a goodie. Now folks call it the Bertha Butt Boogie. When Bertha Butt did a goodie, she started in the
No question. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to, oh boy, that's the wire we don't want to move. Welcome to Glenda. We were experiencing major technical difficulties coming in. I believe we're on live. Switch down. I have my co-host and special guest star here today. Oh, you okay?
Yeah, I pinched my finger.
Oh, no injuries on Glenda. All right.
No school today.
No school yet again today. Thank you, Hurricane Michael. We want to send our, we're going to keep leaning. There we go. We're going to send our prayers out to all the people in Florida. We want them to be safe and okay. We know you're going through a lot of terribleness, so we're not going to joke around about that. But I am happy that the kids are off from school today. So my co-host is here again today, and we have a very special announcement that we will do right after the Glenda salute. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to start off our show. We want to say welcome to Glenda. We want to say welcome to Glenda.
Welcome to Glenda.
We want to say welcome to Glenda.
Welcome to Glenda.
There you go. A little bit of oomph. A little bit of, give. You got to give. If you want love from the fans, you got to give love. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, welcome to Glenda.
Welcome to Glenda.
Much better. Welcome to Glenda, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Scotty Bonner. I'm here with our co-host, Sophia Bonner. And let's start off the day with our proper and correct and beautiful Glenda love salute. Take your beautifully designed, carefully calculated, and perfectly made opposable thumbs that can do this and help you do things like this and pick stuff up and put stuff down. And they're a wonderful part of our design. And apply your thumbs to your temples, not pressing too hard. And in a sunflower-esque like motion, raising your temples and upper torso towards the sun. Let's all say good morning to one another on Glenda. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good morning, and how do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Wow, Sylvia's working. We were having, technical difficulties up the, well, you know where. Uh-oh.
1, 2, 3, 3.
Right. I hate that stupid code, but we've been over that. So, just wanted to tell everybody, happy Friday. So
Happy Friday.
the weekend's officially here, especially if you, didn't have school today. Can you do me a favor? Because I'm feeling a little warm in here. Can you go out there and lower the temperature?
I asked you that earlier.
You may have. How about yes, Daddy? I'd be happy to help. Don't bump into that Ethernet wire. That thing's fragile right now. Nice, good tiptoeing. There is so much going on in the world of sports, and as soon as Sophie gets back, I got a big announcement. Put it down to like 67. You don't want to sit next to Daddy when he's perspiring during a show. Hoo hee ha. Shark bait. Hoo ha ha. Did you put it down to 67? Did you put? All right. There you go. Welcome back. So I want to be careful. Your wire's touching the fragile wire. Just put it on. You're fine. I'm just saying. Just don't bounce around. Little less movement today. We'll try and fix that as the show goes on.
Ew. It's wet.
If we get, it's wet?
Yeah.
I didn't touch it.
It might have touched my mouth.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, so very big announcement that Sophie and I would like to share with you. I'm going to announce it, then Sophie's going to pontificate about how she feels about it and what her thoughts are, and then we're going to dive deep into the world of sports today because it's a Friday show, so there's a lot going on. Plus the weekend coming up with the weekend games that are coming our way. Just 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta do a quick little adjustment. No, you keep your thing on. Okay. Huh?
That's better.
It is better. You're right. There we go.
Seltzer.
Okay, I want watch out for this. Don't touch this. This is what I'm trying to make sure stays. If that comes out, the show's over. Finite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We just had well, they're fixed. That's all that matters. We want them to stay fixed. Oh golly. Oh no. I feel like Baymax, except for I can't fix anything. And oh wait a minute. What's going on here? That should have worked. Oh you. Oh. Hold on.
I burped out of the mic.
Apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Last apology. Normally we will hammer and work all these things out prior to the program, but we were having technical difficulties that have been restored. All right. So the big announcement is, this is the big announcement here, is that, wait a minute, I think I got to, there we go. We got to, coming up, there's going to be a weekly show because of the enormity of responses that we had yesterday from Sophia's performance with the toys and this and that. So there's going to be a weekly show. It's gonna air live on the weekends. We haven't selected a date or time yet. And then the day or time when they air live, it
should be after my hockey game.
That's what I was going to say, but they may vary because the hockey games are different. So they'll probably be on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening. So we'll try and set a time. We'll hammer it in there, or Sunday. Well, probably not Sunday. Sundays, we got church and football and things of that ilk.
Oh yeah.
But it's going to air every weekend or Friday night. We'll see when it airs. And it's going to be Sophia's Toy and Sports Emporium with her co-host, Daddy. So look forward to that. We're going to add that. We're going to add that under the umbrella, which we needed yesterday because it was really raining.
I didn't go anywhere.
Of the Glenda Love Corporation and Broadcasting umbrella. So we're very excited to bring you that. Thank you all for your questions, comments, concerns, and of course compliments from yesterday's show. Sophia's worldwide, international, and outer space, because the Russian on the space station, he wasn't too fond of your performance, but when he lands, Daddy's going to go over there and talk to him and straighten him out. But everybody else, the other astronauts and cosmonauts and whatever or not on the International Space Station that you and I pay for.
But we do?
Yeah, we do. We're Americans. We pay for everything. Are big fans of the show. So, we're excited, and we're excited that the Sophie's Sports and Toy Emporium weekly.
Probably gonna be most about toys.
Mostly about toys, but there'll be some sports sprinkled in. Like the sprinkling on the
So when it snows.
No, on the salt, yeah, when it snows, but on the slime, when you put the sprinkle stuff in on the slime.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right. So that'll be good. So first and foremost, I want to say that we've got we got to talk about last night's locks. I think we'll let the I steered you wrong. I told you to make a right when you should have made a left at Albuquerque. Yep, my lock didn't lock. It didn't lock down. It was unlocked. However, Sophia, would you like to go over your lock of the evening last night and let everybody know whether you won or lost, and then speak up. Speak from the diaphragm.
I won. Right?
It's not a question.
Wait.
Did you win or did you lose? Don't
won.
pose it in the form of a
won.
question. You won! Exclamation point. Okay. What did you win on? What did you give the fans at home?
What do you mean?
What did you tell them was your lock yesterday? What was your
my lock was.
Lock it down.
The Nashville was gonna win 4-3 against Winnipeg.
No, you said Nashville. I said it was Nashville. They were given a goal and a half. I said, do you think they're going to win by a goal and a half? You said, well, I think they're going to win 4-3. So we took the money line. Remember, if you bet $1, you win 66 cents.
I didn't put any in.
The fans at home did. Believe me, trust me. You made people money last night. I assure you. Yeah, make it rain. That's probably inappropriate. But anyway, so Sophia, her lock yesterday, she had the Predators of Nashville. She said to take them to defeat the Jets of Winnipeg, and the Predators of Nashville won the game 3-0. So when when you're successful and you hand out a good lock, you get to do your successful. I handed out a good lock dance. So the floor is yours, honey. Go ahead, whatever celebratory dance you want to do. There you go. Very good. Very nice. That's gonna end soon, right there. Okay. Now myself, I have to hang my head. I have to feel shame. My lock did not pan out, did not turn out, and I had handed you folks out of the goodness of my heart. I shared with you I said too. I said I like the Eagles, but that you know what? You can't say that and blah blah blah. And we're gonna get into the Eagles-Giants game. The Giants got the floor mopped with. They got their lunches handed to them yesterday by the Eagles. But yeah, mop it up. And I had handed out I had the Rangers and the Sharks. I liked the over in the game yesterday, the Rangers-Sharks game. Unfortunately, the over did not hit. It only ended up getting to a total of 5, which the Rangers won in overtime. So not only did I miss on the over, the internationally accepted sign of "Give me some seltzer." Not only did I miss on the over that I handed out, it was great to see the Rangers finally get off the schneid and get their first win for their new coach. So congratulations to you guys. Whoop-de-doo. You're still in last place, just so you know. So there is a tremendous amount going on in the world of sports, but I think we got to dig into and start off with what happened last night. You got to cover it. Like that, all right? How about we get you less carbonated beverages for the rest of the show? Just a thought.
Water?
Water?
We don't have any.
We have lots of water. We got a sink full of water.
I know that.
What are you doing? Oh. So, last night, of course, was Thursday night, my favorite night of the week as far as sports goes. Here's a good story. Last night, I don't know what time it was, about, I guess about 6-ish, 5, 6, but somewhere in the evening. In the evening.
You can finish your statement.
Led Zeppelin. So, I love myself when it's pouring rain, right? Like it was last night because we had the hurricane was here. It wasn't a hurricane when it came here, so I shouldn't say it, but it was the remnants of the hurricane was here. So I like to when it's inclement weather. How about we say that? I like to. Excuse me, I gave out too much oxygen there. Rain needs a little bit of oxygen. I'm not tired. It's just a matter of O2 versus CO2. And yeah, are you yawning? Are you yawning in the middle of my plan?
It's contagious.
It is contagious. You're right. So no, you can't have that. So what I like to do.
I said so.
The internationally accepted sign for seltzer. So what I like to do during inclement weather, like yesterday when it was really downpouring, I love to go to the supermarket during those times because it's empty and you can zip through because nobody goes. I will gladly trade off the soaking wet, getting a little chilly, soaking wet aspect of things. You need to pull that away. The fans don't want that. You need to pull that away and do it that way. And no more seltzer. If you're thirsty, go get water. Listen, OSHA is not going to accept that anymore. So I ran to the supermarket, got us what we needed for the evening. Hopefully enough for the weekend. But you know, I used to wonder why my grandmother, your great grandmother,
that I was named after.
you were named after. It wasn't even her name. Went to the supermarket so often, but now I realize, if I find myself there 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. So anyway, I tried to stick to my list on my phone. Got there, got soaking wet, got back. Yes, honey.
And it's finally cool now that the hurricane passed.
Now that the hurricane passed, fall is finally here. So we would like to hear on Welcome to Glenda, welcome fall to Glenda. And we want to welcome you all to Glenda. So welcome, as you know, when you're on Glenda, are you friends or your family?
Family.
Your family when you're on Glenda. So welcome to Glenda. We are family here. Come to our house. You know, you get some sauce. Go across the street. You get a little gravy. Whatever you got to do. So ran to the supermarket, got home, soaking wet, blah, blah, blah. Got the old pizza at the supermarket, nice and simple, so we were good last night. And so then the Thursday night affair was taking place, but last night had to watch Solo again. Not going to get into our 45-minute review of Solo again in the entire story, but Michelle, the missus, her mom, did not. The first night she fell asleep during it, so I watched the second half with her again, and it got better the second time I watched it. So I'm really. I think the 3.5 antlers was more accurate than the 3.25. So I need to. Can I upgrade my? Can I revise my? Ready? So I revised it up from 3.25 to 3.5. It really is. Not necessarily. Sometimes the more I watch a movie, the less I like it. Depends.
Depends if it's bad or good.
It depends if anybody can hear you because your headphones are on. Right? So what'd you say?
I said, the more you watch the movie, more you like it or dislike it. Because if it's a good movie, you probably more like it. then if it's a bad movie, you probably dislike it more.
Right, and sometimes there's things that I watch the second time, I'm like, oh, I didn't catch how stupid that was. This really isn't that good. Or sometimes there's things that I catch, or things that I'm like, wow, this is really good. And I actually enjoyed Solo more last night, knowing what I knew and looking for what I was looking, and it was good. So then after that, flicked over to the. We finished that up. It was about 8:30 ish. So then I was flicking between the Giants and the Eagles, and the Sharks and the Rangers, mostly because I had the lock on the Shark Ranger game, which was unlocked.
Did you flick to the Predators?
Predators were on later, so I did
Oh.
I did flick to the Predators later in the evening afterwards. I was sticking between
What
that
did we
and
eat for dinner?
I had pizza. Did you have dinner? I tell Mommy all the time, they don't need to eat every day. They're not producing anything, so they're just consumers. Right? Unless, people start tuning in, to your show for ratings, then you can have whatever you want every night.
Yes.
3 times a day.
Yes.
So
Well, you're supposed to
let
have
me
everything you want 3 times.
the Giants got their lunches handed to them. I think it was 34-13 was the finale, the score. But it wasn't even. It was the type of game where it just wasn't even that close. I tuned it in. Manning was getting sacked, inside his 5-yard line, fumbling the ball. They got the ball back. I didn't see his first interception. I heard about it. And the only 2 takeaways that I have from the New York Giants are this: their old uniforms that they wore in the '80s are sweet. I do like the new ones, so it would be hard to say get rid of them and go back to the new ones. But it was sweet to see them on the field. Would have liked to see them though wearing their blues instead of their whites and their white on whites. White top, white bottoms. Outfit last night. I would have liked to see the blue jersey, with the old helmet and the white bottoms. But it was good to see the old Giants colors and jerseys, logos, and whatnot out there. Yet again, to hold on, hold on, because I can't tell if that was a call for the show, so. Or if that was a call for something else, we gotta see here. Hold on.
That's why you don't just randomly hang up.
Or it's why you just don't randomly answer. So
You answer and then hang up.
well, that's why we need a call screener.
Me, Luke.
Luke's busy doing Lukey things. So anyway,
Which is Fortnite
of course.
or Rainbow.
So that was my one big takeaway. Was it was sweet to see the Giants unis and sweaters out there back in the '80s. The Lawrence Taylor, Phil Simms, Mark Bavaro, Joe Morris, Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick days. Definitely like that. The other obvious takeaway doesn't really take a football or fashion genius connoisseur, which of course I am. To tell you that the Giants' offensive line is an absolute disgrace, but I want to also say that I feel that the New York Giants are right now. Yes.
Can you text Rod, Mr. Rod,
Yes.
so he can call us?
He's working, honey. Sorry. You can get your phone and text Boone if you want, but they're working. I'm sure they're working. So.
She might have school.
Excellent. All right, right after this segment, we're going to give a call to the
I knew
UNC head coach, which I'm excited to do. So you know what? We're gonna call the coach right now, and then we're gonna get back to my pontification about the Giants and where they stand, and where you stand, and where we stand. Let's give the old coach a call. Hey, we're calling now live on the air. The coach of the UNC Tar Heels. They got a huge game coming up in about a week or so. Let's see if he picks up.
Scott, you there?
Yes, hello. This is the Welcome to Glenda radio program. We're calling. We had a missed call from this number. Were you calling to confirm the Chinese food order for tonight, sir? Because last time the lo mein was not greasy enough.
Absolutely. Make sure you throw in an extra egg roll too. I love those.
Oh, you can never have enough egg roll. I love them. Nothing. I cures a hangover like a real tall glass of ice cold water and a nice cold egg roll with some duck sauce. It's science.
Hey,
That I
speak
make.
my
That
language.
me and Mommy make.
You make spring rolls. Egg rolls from the Chinese food place, cold in the morning.
Wait, spring rolls?
Yeah.
Those are,
That's what you use.
I thought those were egg rolls.
So we are on live, ladies and gentlemen, with the head coach of the UNC Tar Heels, Coach Volkman. How are you this morning, Coach?
Beautiful. What a beautiful state. It's glorious outside. This is my kind of weather.
The fall is officially here. I want to thank the hurricane for getting rid of all the hot weather, and I'm sure the people in Florida don't really appreciate me thanking the hurricane. But from our perspective, it definitely cooled things off. It's beautiful out today.
It's
Yeah,
in the
it's good to know,
70s.
Most people were safe out there last night, and it's just absolutely gorgeous out here.
It is, and it's an absolutely perfect day, perfect weather, perfect everything, and the kids are off from school. That's another thing I love about Wake County school districts down here is that a little bit of inclement weather, and they get a week off from school. It's absolutely perfect. So, how are you today? Are you preparing for the big tilt up at PNC Arena taking place? And I think it's just about 10 short days from now.
Absolutely, we're really excited. We had a bumpy weekend this past weekend. We had a lot of people go down. We had some academic stuff where people are out of town. Definitely hit by the injury bug, but we're going to have most of our team back for this game, which is great. Other than Kyle Bullock, who's still mending from MCL. Jess Annie, one of our top forwards, she's over in Europe, actually playing professional tennis right now. So those are two huge losses, but we definitely have the majority of our team back. No excuses. We are ready to come at and bring a big fight to PNC Arena.
Did you say she's in Europe playing professional tennis?
She's in Turkey.
Wow,
Yeah,
I didn't know she was I know she's a phenomenal hockey player. I didn't know that she was a phenomenal tennis player. Makes sense though, but.
Yeah, for all the parents and kids out there, I'm a huge multi-sport fan. I think it's really sad if kids narrow in on one sport. And she's a great example of someone that can get it done, and her attitude and personality and everything is phenomenal. She is the poster child for a hockey player growing up in the United States of America. I love it.
Wow, I had no idea. So she plays on the UNC Tar Heel tennis team, I take it?
She does. She does. There's no eligibility conflict there.
Oh no, I wasn't going there.
Really?
I wasn't accusing her of selling her sneakers over in Turkey or something,
Well, I'm sure if there's any state fans listening, red flags go up. But
that's true.
I just wanted to clarify that.
You're a dad first, a coach second.
I got to take care of my kids. I got a lot of kids, and we're excited, Scotty, and we're excited to have you broadcasting as always. Looks like you're going to have myself and Coach Gazzillo on the air here next Friday.
Yep, looking forward to that. That should be fun. He's an old Long Island boy, so it's going to be two Long Island boys and a Minnesota guy. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I might have to put dinner on the line or something for that game. I'm a betting man, and
we should gamble.
Absolutely.
So I have stated, and I've stated on social media, I've stated on the air here, and I truly feel this from my heart. I don't state things that aren't from my heart. That if you live in the Triangle area or down here anywhere, and you haven't been to one of these state UNC games at PNC, I would highly advise that you get there Monday because they are. Sophie's been to a couple of them. How are the games at PNC between state and UNC, honey? What are they like, from a fan's perspective? What are they like when you're there?
They're good.
They're good. See, I told you I don't tell lies on this show. They're good. They're exciting. The last game we had, I think, over 8,000 at PNC with the new owner of the Canes was there, Tom Dundon. He was blown away by the crowd. The atmosphere are the bands going to be there again this time? I always love when the bands are there. It really makes it just you feel like you're at a college football game. It's awesome. Will the bands be there this time?
We're certainly working on it, and we're planning on it. I couldn't agree with you more. There is nothing better, growing up in Minnesota and the high school band. There's nothing better from a hockey player's perspective than hearing the band. I have deep admiration for the band being out there. They just bring electricity all through the arena. It's fantastic. Yeah,
it just makes it a fun night for everybody, and just to see the big crowd on hand at the Big House PNC Arena, where the Hurricanes play, and the two teams going at it, and there's always a little bit of maybe a lot of bad blood between the two teams. You get a soda after the game. It's nothing that carries over or anything like that into the parking lot. We're not talking about McGregor and Khalib out there, but between the 60 minutes on the ice, things tend to get a little heated, and from this broadcaster's and fans' perspective, I thoroughly enjoy these games. I think they're the highlight of the season coming from New York, where I would look forward to the Islander Ranger games. Every year when they were on the docket, I look forward to the state UNC games when they're on the docket. And I'm wondering if the tension is felt, on the bench and the coaching staff. What goes through your guys' minds when these ones, you circle them on the calendars? How do you feel going in and during the game?
Oh, there's no question. You nailed it. I mean, Coach Kazil and I, we have a good relationship, but when we show up for work, we hate each other for 5 hours, and we're trying everything we can to win hockey games, and I respect that on both sides. But at the end of the game, we're gonna have a clear winner, and we leave it on the ice. There's definitely a lot of banter going back and forth on social media already. Guys are amping up. It's just a phenomenal rivalry. What NC State does and brings their fans, it's incredible. We're trying to do the same thing at UNC. It's a longer track for the kids. That should not be an excuse. So I'm calling out all UNC fans right now and staff to get your butt out there and support us. If we can hold up our end of the bargain here, we're filling the lower bowl.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you guys are definitely at these games the heavy road team. We'll just say that. I would say it's about 90% state fans, but it is in their backyard. It is in their building. It's a lot closer for them. But like you said, though, that's no excuses. There is modern transportation today and ways to get to the arena. Of course, like to see a little bit more blue in the arena during these games. So yeah, you gotta call them out. You gotta say, show up. Because it's a sea of red out there. I feel like I'm at a Capitals game when we're there.
Absolutely. Well said, Sky. I can't even follow up with that comment.
Well, I tried to capture the spirit of the thing.
You did, Dickie.
But these games, I mean, they really are phenomenal, and it really, for me, just points out the obvious that the hockey market down here in the Triangle is a lot bigger and bolder than people think. They think, it's Raleigh, North Carolina. The Canes haven't made the playoffs in years, not rubbing it in. But a fact is a fact. And, I mean, look at the Canes right now. They've started off the season on fire. They're 3-0-1. They're in first place in the division, first place in the conference. They couldn't be doing any better. And new owner, new energy. And I think it's going to have a, more than a trickle-down effect to the local colleges as the energy from Tom Dundon just has really, saturated the whole area about hockey, and it's ready to go.
No, Dundon's doing everything right from top to bottom, and it's exciting. And at the end of the day, you can do everything possible to grow your organization, and from a marketing perspective. But you got to bring W's, and that's precisely what they're doing. It's a long season, so we'll see how it plays out. But excellent start, excellent preseason, by the way. And they're just building up that, and there's a few other teams that are on fire right now, and they're fun to watch. But it's definitely a long season. They have to stay healthy, and wins bring people into the stadium, plain and simple.
Yeah.
And there's no question right now they're in position to do that. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, no, it's exciting, and I think that it's really. You see it. You've seen it trickle down, to the college level already last year when you guys had over 8,000 on hand at PNC for the game that Dundon attended, and he was shocked, and I think he was like, oh my God, there's more people here than a Canes game, and it was like right after he took over the team that he started making changes. Not saying he was making the changes because he came to the game, but I think it opened up his eyes to what really is a unique spot here in the South, quote unquote. If you're not from here or anything, the Raleigh, Triangle area is, it's a little carved out part of the South where, over 50% of the people here are either from the Northeast or the Midwest. You're from Minnesota, I'm from New York. You see people from Philly, New York, Washington, Detroit, Chicago, Rhode Island, Minnesota, Boston, Virginia, Pittsburgh. There's a lot of people I've met a lot of people from Detroit.
Japan.
Japan. We did meet somebody from Japan. That's a good point. Not the Northeast, but still not from the Triangle. And but and I think that the hockey market down here is
Philippines
is tremendously bigger than anybody at the colleges realize or want to acknowledge at this point. I think I've been saying it for years. They're sitting on a volcano of fans, and fans equal money. So say what you want, but it's true.
No question. First of all, I must say I am very impressed with your geography skills. That is especially coming from New York. That is spot on. But yeah, I mean,
I'm very good at math.
Let's look at it this way, Scotty. I mean, how many NCAA Division I teams bring a crowd like this? You know, you're right on every level here. We're in a prime location. You know, we're not NCAA, but we have great rivalry schools, and we've got good hockey, and it's growing every day. And the best part for me is to all these homegrown kids who are looking out and, you know, have their sights set on NCAA. They've got fantastic hockey in their backyard, and it's growing. We're going to get more talent in here, and it's just going to get better every year. And one day we will be NCAA Division I.
No question. No question. I couldn't agree with you more. It's a matter of when now. It's not a matter of if. And I've said this, and I've been pushing it for it to be UNC myself. But once one goes, the dominoes will fall on the other two. And you know, I would go as far as to Wake Forest and Elon will probably follow suit, and there will be within a decade from now a Division I ACC really good hockey division. And including and down here, another thing that I close to my heart, and I know you have two little girls, is the girls program down here is phenomenal. It's phenomenal, and it's growing outside of just the junior Canes. The other junior teams down here are jumping on the girls bandwagon, and rightfully so, because there's so many girls down here. You know, people come down here. You know, they procreate. Most of the people that move down here are young, in their 30s. That leave, you know, some of the other states for, you know, taxes, traffic, weather, whatever you want to, you know, not going to get into the reasons, but it's obvious. It's a lot, you know, it's beautiful down here. You know, home is home for me, home is home for you, and I'll always love it. But I love it down here, and I know I speak, you know, for a lot of people, including I think you. We love it down here, and you know, you come down here young, you have your kids, and you have boys and girls. You know, that's just the way it works out. And girls play hockey just as much as boys. You got a phenomenal girl on your team. Duke's got a girl on their team. And the girls programs down here, you're going to be able to field really excellent Division I girl program, or women's programs down here, I should say, very easily, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, good point, Scotty. I mean, that does get lost in the conversation right now. Is there is a lot of women's talent, and I think, you know, the first step's going to have to be for the girls to step up and create a club program here and grow that. But I definitely feel that. You know, I know more about Duke and UNC in terms of their programs right now and the female athletes there right now. But I know both programs could come close to fielding a hockey team as early as next year. And you're right. I mean, the NHL Canes, they've been very invested in youth hockey in this area, and it's evident. It's growing. You see kids. You know, you got guys that are getting drafted in the NHL now. You know, I mean, that's proof's in the pudding right there, and they're just gonna. It's like you said, it's a very transient area, and people are bringing their culture and their behaviors and from consumers' perspective and hobby perspective, and it's definitely a nice mix, and you know, I think once this area can really get on the same page, I don't get political in the youth system, but once that happens, hockey's, you know, really going to explode in this area.
Yeah, and I think a big, you know, I think one feeds the other. I think a big thing that's going to help is the success of the Canes. You know, the Canes get if they can continue their hot ways that they started the season with, and I really don't see any reason why they shouldn't. I mean, this team can fly. This team can score. This team's got outstanding top 6 defensemen. You know, the goaltending's got to hold up. But you know, if you watch them, they seem to be able to overcome a soft goal here or there, which happens to every NHL team. You've got to, you know, your goaltenders aren't going to bail you out every night. Some nights they are going to bail you out and make 50 saves. But, you know, in the past, I thought if Darling or Ward had let in a soft goal, it kind of deflated the team. They didn't have the horses to come back. This team, you know, can certainly come back and easily win, you know, 8-5, 7-4 type of games. Although I don't prefer them. But anyway, I think that the winning that's going to come from the Carolina Hurricanes is just going to get the whole area more amped up about hockey. And you got to remember the last time that they were good was almost a decade ago. And the demographics of the area 10 years ago till now has changed drastically. There are, you know, thousands and thousands of people each month that move here from quote-unquote hockey cities. So, you know, the Canes being good now and the Canes being good 10 years ago, it's a completely different, you know, animal. It's I know it sounds crazy, but these are the things you gotta look into, and I think that that's going to feed into the college programs, and I think the college programs are going to wildly succeed down here, and I think that there's also going to be a women's professional team down here. I've been saying it since I got involved with the NWHL. I got a couple of friends that coach Sophie that do clinics down here that I became friends with that play in the professional women's hockey league, and there's going to be a professional women's team down. Tom Dundon's he's no dummy. You mark my words, there will be a NWHL team down here within the next 3 or 4 years. Call me crazy, but and I also write this down. There's also going to be UNC State is going to play at Carter Finley Stadium. I have no doubt. I've been telling you that since I think the day I met you. That was 2 years ago, and it seemed crazy. It doesn't seem as crazy right now, in my opinion. I think it's inevitable. Like, could you imagine, even if they play on the same weekend that there's an outdoor game, or you just play an annual outdoor game, just the college teams play there, themselves once a year. You'd have 50,000 easy.
Oh yeah, I mean, from the revenue perspective, it's just a no-brainer. There's no question. It'd be fun for the fans, fun for the kids, and you pointed out a lot of things, and with the momentum going in this area, but I think, one thing I like is, guys like you bring in sports talk to the radio, because I seriously feel there's a huge void in any sports talk. No offense to any sports radio out there, but the hockey talk is pathetic. And,
yes.
There needs to be more of it. There's a demand there. And I get it. It's football, basketball. There's a lot of soccer and college level sports, and it's ratings. But, hockey's coming, and it's a big wave. And, I would, they put a little more energy and time into hockey. And, I suppose they will when they start seeing wins, and it's good for the ratings. But
right.
I want to see a 365-day, hockey perspective. And I love the sport. I'm biased, but, I'm glad you're in the mix now, Scotty. Well,
I appreciate the support, and it's easy to do things when you love to do them, and I could talk hockey with anybody anytime just for fun, or have a serious conversation. But I appreciate the kind words. But yeah, again, it all comes down to winning. The Canes win. The Canes get on the back cover of the newspaper, whatever that is. Not that anybody buys those anymore, and they'll be forced to talk about it. And then it'll spill over to the college scene once they acknowledge. Oh my God, they had 8,000 the other night at PNC for a local college game. It'll be insane. But I'm going to certainly let everybody know from my kids' team's perspective, and all the junior teams. They do a good job getting the word out now about the PNC games. They help out, and you see a lot of kids at the college games nowadays. At PNC last weekend for the Stephen Russell, I saw a lot of kids there. It's good to see. That's for me, that's important.
No question. And we started with a vision here 4 years ago, and look where we are already. And can't say enough about this phenomenal ownership coming into Carolina Hurricanes. It's so exciting. PNC Arena has just rolled out the red carpet for us. None of this could happen unless Dave Olson was on board. And he does a lot for hockey in the area, and he's certainly doing a lot for us, and we really appreciate it. And we're, sky's the limit. We're just scratching the surface right now, and growing the game, and we're excited. We're just a bunch of passionate people who want to see the Raleigh Triangle area succeed.
Yes, and it will. And I've said this numerous times before the Canes turn things around on the ice. I know I'm jumping the gun. They're only 3-0-1, but there's something about this team. You can tell they're going to be there all year. I'm not saying that they're going to, go out and get 120 points and win the President's Trophy, but this team's going to be there. They're right there all year. They're too good not to be in. And they've got the coach that, if the effort's not there one night, he'll take a couple of guys behind the woodshed, and they'll discuss it that way. Nobody, when your coach is the toughest guy in the room, which I'm sure you guys know as the Tar Heels, it's kind of hard to look at the guy and not give the effort that he's going to demand. So I expect that. But I think that the Canes off the ice have been an absolute 100% Class A act. Everything they do, their first goal program is phenomenal for the kids. If you have a kid in the area and you're thinking about signing them up for hockey, get into the first goal program. I can't talk highly enough about that. It's phenomenal. I think it's $100. You get a set of equipment for your child. You get like 5 or 6 skating sessions to start them off. which my kids were helping out in, and they loved it. And it's run, Shane is out there doing a great job. Shane Willis runs it, and I think you get a ticket to a game too. It's like a ridiculous deal that they do, and they get hundreds and hundreds of kids out there, playing hockey that wouldn't be able to because hockey's not inexpensive, and a lot of people don't want to shell out the money to find out if their kid wants to skate or not, because a lot of kids quit really quickly because it's hard, and I don't blame them. And when you're not when you're making the effort to meet the parents halfway, the parents will come back and really support the Canes. So off the ice, they're a phenomenal organization, and now they're matching it on the ice, which is really exciting to see. Yes, honey, you wanted to add to the story?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Well, kind of.
Go ahead. You helped out with the first goal program, right?
Yeah, and my friend at school is with, well, he is one of the people that are in the first goal.
Right. Did he like it? And he's gonna keep playing, right? Yeah, exactly.
He had his first hockey game the other night.
Oh, he signed up. See, he played the first goal and he signed up for the season. Yep. See, that's what it's all about. And then they're gonna, they'll go to a Canes game, and then they'll go to a UNC game. So it all one. It just feeds. It's a reciprocal relationship, which is what Obi-Wan was trying to explain to the Gungan. What was going on with the Naboo, but the Gungan, they didn't listen. Then Obi-Wan had to use his his mind meld, and he manipulated them. But that's another story as to why the Jedi aren't as good as people think that they are. Well, Coach, I cannot thank you enough for calling in today. We're gonna have a lot of players and yourself calling in next week. I know Sam's gonna call in from State, Banashevitz, the captain. Just a phenomenal hockey player, phenomenal guy off the ice as well. Great ambassador here in the Triangle for the game. Is there anything else you want to add about today, October 22nd at 7 p.m.? I have all that information correct, right? I have it on my calendar for that's the first one at PNC.
Yeah, no, it's 7 o'clock puck drop. Doors will open at 6 o'clock, free parking, so come out and tailgate. And, we're asking for a suggested donation at the door. $5 to come see a great hockey game like that. That's not a lot of money, and we're paid to play, so we really appreciate any and all donations. Don't get me wrong there. And we're terribly excited. I'm glad to hear you got Sam coming on. He is a great ambassador. He's just I got a lot of respect for that kid.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
It's a pleasure to coach him a couple times at some All-Star events, and he's just a class act. I've got a couple of my captains calling in, and Gazzola and I will be on Friday and go toe to toe before the game. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. These games they're really something to be part of, and I want to thank you so much for allowing me and inviting me to call the games. They're one of a kind. They're phenomenal. They're the best games down here. And like I said, growing up on Long Island, they remind me a lot of the old Islander Ranger games, which is at the Coliseum, something I just look forward to 3 or 4 times every year. And same thing here now. So you're allowing me to maintain my youth, at least internally. Externally, time is ticking away.
Indeed. Have a great day.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much. We will chat next week. Say bye to Coach, honey.
Bye.
All right. Bye, sweetheart.
Bye, Coach.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Coach Jeff Volkman. Yes, honey.
I have an idea for my show.
Okay, let's hear it.
Every lock I win, I get a toy and I get to present it.
Wow, that's a great idea. So if you put in your antler lock of the day or the night, then you get a toy for the show that week. So what if you don't get a lock then? Then what do you got to do? Open up an old toy, or what happens? Or you're just not going to get any wrong? That's the plan.
If I don't get,
Let's say hypothetically somehow you don't get your lock right. I mean, like Daddy was wrong last night.
then if I get mine wrong and you get yours right, you would get something for you.
Which I would give to you.
If you want to.
Well, I mean, for the show, for the sake of the show, at least, right? You got to lean this way, honey. That girl. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's a great idea, by the way. It's a fantastic idea. That was Coach Jeff Volkman. He's the head coach of the UNC Tar Heels program down here. The big game coming up is next Monday, which is the 22nd. All next week, we're going to have players and coaches calling in from both organizations. We're going to have both coaches on next Friday, a week from now. We're going to do a remote show from PNC Arena next Friday. I'm so excited for the game. And I really want to encourage everybody to come out to the game. Of course, if you can't make it, you can watch it right here on the Glenda Love Broadcasting Network Company program channel. But it's nothing. There's nothing like being at a game. It's nothing like ever being at any concert or sporting event live. And these are phenomenal. These are literally, they really do live up to the hype of the backyard brawl. So really looking forward to it. Looking forward to having Captain Sam on from NC State, Banashevitz. He's a heck of a hockey player and a fellow redhead, so he knows the pros and cons of being a redhead, and him and I will dive into that more next week. So I want to thank Coach so much for calling in and being a special guest on the Glenda Love Welcome to Glenda show. We're gonna get back. Yes, honey, you wanted to on. Oh, let me ask you a question. Besides good, how are the games? For a little kid to go to the PNC UNC games. The UNC. I'm sorry, the UNC State games at PNC. Do you like them? How do you feel? I mean, besides being good.
I like them because like the band's there and they get me all like hyped up.
Yeah, you like the band, and then usually Ramses is there, and Mr. and Mrs. Wolf are there sometimes. That's the Wolfpack.
Oh yeah.
The Wolfpack mascots. Mascots are very important, to me, and I know to you because the apple didn't fall far from the tree. So speaking of mascots, I know you love Stormy. Stormy's fantastic. Stormy's a fantastic. I love Stormy myself. How do you feel about Gritty? I mean, I wasn't planning on talking about Gritty, but it's hard not to talk about. It's hard not to think about Gritty. Gritty.
He's scary.
If you haven't, you think he's scary? Yeah, he's a little scary.
His eyes.
Yeah, they're a little googly. They're a little. But you've had toys that have googly eyes. I mean, it's
Luke
nothing.
had one in his ear.
That's another story for another time. I don't know if he wants us to share that with the entire
He shared it with the
international
Uncle
world.
George.
He did. Yeah, there's a couple of things about Gritty that are scary. But I think that I think
They shouldn't have gone with that. They should have gone with a bird because the flyers fly.
They fly. I don't think they're birds though. I don't even know
But
why.
I
don't even know why they got the
their
Philadelphia Flyers. That's
their
a good
logo
question.
looks kind of like a wing.
It does. You know what? That's funny. I'm gonna look it up right now. And wait, hold on. Now this one. Hey, why don't you go take this call? Take your headphone off. Take the call. Ask her if it's important. That's the wifey. You gotta answer it first, though, honey. Answer it. All right. Go talk to mommy inside. Ask her if it's important. Tell her we're live radio here. We're live TV. I was gonna look up what the Flyer logo and why they're called the Flyer. All these years I never looked it up. I don't know if it has to do with pilots or World War or people that deliver packages. I don't know. That's weird. I never looked it up. Never thought about that until she mentioned bird. That's interesting. Well, so anyway, back to Monday, October 22nd, 7 p.m. is puck drop. Come out to PNC Arena. The games are fantastic. I think they're having at least 2, if not 3, games versus State there this year. They usually play at least 2, and they're awesome. It is a lot like an Islander Ranger game as far as the atmosphere with the band, and the concession stands will be open, so you can get cocktail. Yes. What's that? Oh, we're in charge of snacks. That's what the phone. Okay, we are in charge of snacks. Okay, fantastic. We can handle that. I like snacks.
I don't know what it has to get. It might have been both, but I don't.
That's okay. You don't have 2 games. You only have 1.
No, me.
No, it would just be you. So snacks. All right. Well, that's it's important that we got that phone call in now. So Monday, like I said, very excited about next week. We're gonna have guests on all next week. We're gonna try to have guests on pretty much for the rest of the way for the shows from now on. Trying to grow the show like a sunflower towards the sun, chlorophyll everywhere. Hoping to get Tom Dundon on during the week next week. I know that's a big get, but listen, if you don't cast a big hook, you're not gonna catch a big fish. Is that you know what I'm saying? You like to fish, honey. You know what I'm saying? If you put a little hook in the water, are you gonna catch a big fish or are you gonna catch a little fish with a little hook?
I caught a catfish with a little hook.
You did, right. But are you going to catch like a 50-pound fish with a little hook, or you got to put a big worm in the water, right?
Big worm.
There you go. So we're putting big worms out there, and we're saying, Mr. Dundon, feel free to come on. We'll be at PNC. Having us over, and they are always very accommodating there. So last night, watched the football game, watched the Giant game, and obviously the easy takeaways that everybody could come out to is maybe Eli Manning's done. Maybe you good?
I'm good.
You good? Obviously, the offensive line is absolutely not up to par. Thought they addressed it. I kind of felt that when they signed Nick Solger from the Patriots, I knew that his best days were behind him.
Hi.
He was another one of the players that left the Patriots, as Bill Belichick is very famous for, a year too early. He'll let them go and let somebody else overpay them at the end of their career as they fade away into oblivion. Are you okay, honey? Do you want to take a break? Okay. So, my big, the internationally recognized sign for I want a sip of salsa. My big for Giant fans and for things of that nature is this: if I am a New York Giant football fan right now, today, October, was it 12th? I think October 12th, Friday, October 12th. You're 1-5 after 6 games. This season's over. I'm not being rude. Any Giant fan will tell you. You know, you could say, oh, you know, the team in first place only has 3 wins. And yeah, well, that's great, but you guys aren't. You don't have the horses. You don't have the chemistry. You don't have the locker room, and you don't have the. Well, you may still have the quarterback. Who knows? But anyway, the point is that you guys. If I'm a Giant fan, I'm ecstatic right now. I'm absolutely ecstatic. You could not have played this any better than you did. I know it sounds crazy, but you'd be 1-5 with any one of the quarterbacks, you know, even Baker Mayfield that you selected, had you not taken Saquon Barkley, who had another 130-yard and 100 receiving yard night. So he had over like 230 yards total last night. The guy is just an all-time phenomenal running back. Yes, honey.
I had another idea for the show.
Okay.
For my show.
Okay. After this segment, you can pontificate all you like. So you've got an all-time great, looks like, running back, which don't come around that often, and eventually the offensive line will. You can turn it around. You can turn things around rather quickly in the NFL. And it's not like they didn't try. They went out. They spent money. They made some moves, especially on defense. They signed Solger to tackle. They've got a rookie at guard. So they'll get that straight. But to have Saquon Barkley and to probably stop patting that, to possibly you know, I would say they're definitely going to be probably picking in the top 3. Very good chance the Giants may even be picking first overall. This entire ship may come apart and they may only win 1 or 2 more games. Looking at them last night as a whole, their body languages, and this and that, as you know, I have an amateur professional PhD in sports psychiatry and psychology, which means I can prescribe medications, and my medication of prescription, to sports is to watch more sports and enjoy it, and watch this show and enjoy it and marinate in it. And if I am a Giant fan today, I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be more happier than I am. Yes, you guys are 1-5. Yes, you guys are terrible. But you guys are bottoming out. You bottomed out last year. You got Saquon Barkley. Now you're bottoming out again, another season. And you're going to have possibly the first pick overall in the draft, number 1. So I don't even know who the top flight quarterbacks are as of yet in college football. I've told you a couple of times I'm not any sort of college football expert. I know the kid here at State is really starting to turn some heads. And he has the arm strength that you cannot teach, and he's got I have watched a couple of their games. He does have a very nice release. He's got a good rotation on the ball there. Hold on one moment. Thank you. So,
Can I talk about my idea?
So, if I'm a Giant fan, I will when we're going to talk about your idea, I'm going to hand it off to you. I'm going to do this. Okay, when I do that, then it's yours. Then the floor is yours. Okay, about 2 more minutes. I'm telling you, if I'm a Giant fan right now today and I'm waking up, I'm ecstatic with our situation. We're going to have a franchise quarterback after the draft coming up this year, and we've got an all-time running back. The defense, the defense, the offense, everything. There's a lot of pieces that need to get. You have your franchise receiver, although he's a pain in the bum, but whatever. He's a rare talent. You've got a great second receiver in Shepard. You've got a franchise running back all-time. I know it's a lot to say on somebody, that's only played 4 or 5 games, but he's phenomenal. This kid is ridiculously good, doing it with a second-rate offensive line and a quarterback that's obviously on the second half of his career, and he's out there just last night was phenomenal. He made a couple of plays last night. I was just like, oh my God, this guy is so good. And I think Shermer's a good coach. I think if I'm a Giant fan today, I'm smiling. I'm miserable because we're 1-5 and we're going to go 3-13 or something like that. 2-14. Maybe don't be stupid and win a couple of meaningless games down the stretch and end up picking fourth when you could be picking first or second. If you're going, tank, lose. Start that other guy that you drafted from Richmond, the spider quarterback down the stretch the last 3 or 4 games. If you're battling for the first pick overall, do what you got to do. Make sure you get Patrick Ewing in the lottery. Is what I'm trying to say. And I don't even know who that's going to be, but you need to be in a position where you have your choice at quarterback. I mean, who else is really really terrible that on the Giants level right now in the NFL? Let's look that up. Let's see. Let's go. We're gonna go to NFL standings. NFL. How do you spell NFL, honey?
NFL.
Thank you. I had a PH, but the PH is silent. Okay. Nobody in the AFC is as bad as the AFC East is as bad as the Jets, the Patriots, Dolphins, Bills, Jets. Nobody's there. As bad as the Giants. The Raiders are pretty bad. But they probably won't be looking at a quarterback. But I don't think the Raiders are as bad as the Giants. Nobody in the AFC North is as bad as the Giants. The Bengals, Ravens, Browns, and Steelers, not even close. None of those teams. AFC South, Colts might be there. Not so good. Texans are not good. Texans are not a good team. Poorly coached, poorly run, poor decisions, poor executions. So you got the Texans and the Colts. Texans certainly won't be looking for a quarterback. I don't think the Colts will. Andrew Luck is still, I think he's still under 30, and they're not going to look to replace him. Then you got the NFC East. The Cowboys are not very good. Cowboys would, I think, take a quarterback. I think they would if they had a high pick.
Ooh, Giants.
Giants are pathetic. And I'm not saying, and the 49ers are horrific, but we all know the 49ers have got the greatest quarterback in the history of football outside of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they got Jimmy G. So they're not going to be looking. Cardinals aren't going to be looking. They just took Rosen. Cardinals are bad. Seahawks, but Seahawks are better than that. Seahawks are going to be there. Mark my words. Seahawks are going to be pushing for a wild card spot down the stretch here. Simply, if nothing else, because 8-8, 9-7 are going to be right in a wild card spot in the NFC. The way things are looking out. The Lions. I don't think the Lions will be looking for a quarterback just yet. And the Buccaneers might think quarterback if the Buccaneers are picking that high. That means Jameis Winston, who's making his debut this season, really had a horrific season. Falcons aren't going to be that bad, so I would anticipate if the Giants continue on their current trajectory, which is not impressive, that they should be picking no worse than 3, probably first overall. And like I said, you want to tank. So I'm just trying to give some positive vibes towards Giant Nation today from the Glenda Love Navy to help you guys out as far as trying to look at things positive. I don't think things could have turned out better. I really don't, because you're not going to get a running back next year at the level of the running back that you acquired this year. This kid is just. I mean, if you watched the game last night, if you've been watching the Giants, he's just. Last night was the most I've watched the Giants all year from start to finish because it was Thursday night, my Thursday night Oasis game. Even though the kids had off, and I tuned in a little late because, like I said, we finished solo with the missus, with my bride. She finished solo, and she was like, "Oh, that was great! I loved it." It was just solo's just fun. Solo is like as close to the old original 3 as any have been since the original 3, in my opinion, including the 3 prequels made by George Lucas, which I love. I love all 3 of the CGI, overdone prequels. I know I'm in the minority there. I think
Is Rogue One a Disney Star Wars movie?
Rogue One is a Disney Star Wars movie. Yes, ma'am.
That was the first Disney Star Wars movie, right?
That is incorrect. Now you're telling lies to the world.
I thought it was.
No, the first one was Episode 7.
Oh, and then Rogue One?
The Force Awakens, then Rogue One, then
Episode 7 is The Force Awakens.
Correct. Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Rogue One, Episode 8, The Last Jedi,
And then Solo.
Space Leia, and then Solo. So out of those 4, I would say that Solo's my favorite.
I would say it's a tie between Force Awakens and Solo.
I know you like A Force Awakens, but you like Rey, right? That's why?
Well, it's not, but it is a good movie.
It is a good movie. It is a good movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just don't think it's as and I'll say the same about the other 3 prequels, which The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. Oh, I love Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones is probably my second favorite Star Wars movie of the, God, how many are there now? 6 and 4. How much 6 plus 4? 10, right? You got to carry the 1.
Yeah.
of the 10 that have been put out, 4 by Disney and 6 prior by George Lucas alone. I would say Attack of the Clones is my second favorite overall. I know people look at me like you've got to be kidding me, but I mean, I'll never enjoy the first 3, as much as I did because I was a kid when they came out. So you're fascinated by the fascination of it, of being a kid and enjoying them. So I can't take that away. But as far as story goes and as far as everything goes, Attack of the Clones is I just love Attack of the Clones. When they go see the oh my gosh, oh man, I'm so mad at myself now. The 8-foot tall guy with the 6-foot long neck. The guy's making the clones on the planet that's pouring rain. I am so mad at myself right now that I don't know the saber dart. Caminos. I had to think of the name of the saber
Can
dart.
I write my idea down?
Did I do the breakdance move yet?
Can I write my not name my idea because I might forget
You're
it.
not gonna forget. You're sharp as a tack, honey. So, but I'm almost done. So anyway, my point was that if you're a Giant fan, the future is beyond bright. You guys could not have played this better. Trust me. I know right now. You've 1-5. You got your lunches handed to you at home by one of your rivals. It's not fun, but I'm telling you, brighter days are ahead, and it's because of the order that you did things and not taking a quarterback this year and taking Barkley was absolutely the right call, the right thing to do, and you guys are going to be very thankful in the near future. So with that being said, I'd like to hand it over to my co-host, Sophia. What is your idea, honey, that you wanted to discuss?
My idea is you picked out the toy that if I have won a lock, because you pick out the toy from my win of the lock, and I have a lock list
Okay,
of toys.
Oh, okay, so you make a list.
Of lock.
A lock list of toys.
A lock, yeah.
Okay, and then if you win a lock, that I pick out the toy, and then that's... Well, what we could do also is, to make it simple, is even if you're not on the air, you can write down your lock. I can read it on the air, and then it's a lot, So we're kind of fixing the game. So if you make a lock every,
I already won one lock.
You did, so you get one toy for next week. We're going to debut your show, the Sophia Sports and Toy Emporium extravaganza show is going to debut this weekend.
That's what the sports part is, locks.
The sports part of the locks. That's what gets you the toy. See, we incorporate gambling into, young people, so we get them to gamble when they're young and appreciate the art and science of gambling that you appreciate and you want to know at, right?
Elmo's World.
See? It all comes together. And then tonight also kicks off the next round of...
Wait, are we almost done?
Well, we are. It is 11:37, so we've got about 25 minutes to go.
I thought you said 72.
No, we got it's 11:37, and we got about 25 minutes to go, and then Rush Limbaugh comes on. So, last night
Wait, does Rush only come on Fridays?
No, he's on Monday through Friday.
Oh.
God forbid one day. So, the Major League Baseball starts off their second I guess the third round of the playoffs tonight. The division championship series, final 4 teams that are left in the. We got the Dodgers and the Brewers going at it tonight in Milwaukee. I forgot that Milwaukee was the number 1 seed in the NFC or the NL as they call it nowadays. And tomorrow it's going to be both games are going to go on. Tomorrow is going to be the Dodgers and the Brewers again, and the Astros and the Astros and the would you stop clapping, please? Astros and the Red Sox going at it in the American League. The Dodgers Brewers series I'm thoroughly looking forward to, just because it's the NL, so baseball's better. So I'll be watching that tonight. But most importantly. The big things that are going on this weekend are going to be in the NFL and the NCAA. I mean, unless you're a baseball fan, and I still consider myself a baseball fan, but I just haven't had the wherewithal over the past, I guess decade to really dive into exactly what is going on in the world of baseball. So I don't like to comment on things too much that I don't know. Too often. I mean, I'm willing, to often go off on things and speak. As long as
What do you have your shoes on?
Say things confidently. Don't know. Was I outside? Did I have them on for no reason? I'm not entirely sure.
You took them off and then you put them on.
I apologize. So I'm just going to look real quick at the NCAA schedule here for this weekend. Well, I just want to see if there's how many, if any, Notre Dame's home against Pittsburgh. That's not a great game. Looking for any top. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. Georgia's at LSU. That's a big one. Washington's at Oregon. Not so huge on the big scope of things. West Virginia's at Iowa State. The Cyclones are always tough. Miami's at Virginia. Alabama's home against Missouri. Oh, here's a good one. Michigan at Wisconsin. That's a good middle of the country battle. So there's really two really big games going on that are going to affect things in a big. Well, Michigan, Wisconsin. I don't know how much of a big picture effect that is because neither of those are undefeated. But the biggest game of the weekend clearly is Georgia at LSU. So that's the big one.
Wait, are we doing not locks?
No, we're not doing locks. We're just Georgia. So that's the one to keep an eye on. And then next week things really pick back up again. But let's go over our NFL weekend preview of games. Last night, of course, kicked off week 6, I believe, with the Giants losing to the Eagles at home, 34-13. Eagles look good. I think Eagle fans are holding back their enthusiasm. A win against the Giants is no reason to get overly excited, but a division road win is a division road win, and you're 3-3, and you're back in first place, and you just got to get in the dance. That's all it takes in the NFL. Yes, honey, you wanted to pontificate about something.
Well, it's not about this.
That's okay. Go ahead.
I'm thinking of a name for my show.
Oh, I thought we had the Sophie's Sports and Toy Emporium. No, not feeling it. Okay. Well, you think it over, and when you have it,
I already have.
You have it. Let's hear it.
Sophie's Lock Show.
Sophie's Lock Show. People are gonna think it's a locksmith show, though. They're gonna turn in.
I know, but like Sophie's Lock Toy Show.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Me neither.
I don't like it. It's not.
Sophie's Toy Locks Show.
I think you need to think about it. Write it down. We'll go over it. Later on off the air.
We need to make votes.
We need to really dive deeper into it mentally. You know what I'm saying? And marinate in it more and more. So here's an interesting game. Very interesting game. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Interesting game because if Atlanta loses, their season is kaput. It's over. They're 1-4 going into this one. The season may be kaput and over already with the division being as it is. Looking up at New Orleans and looking up at Carolina, two powerhouses in the NFC, if you ask me. So the Falcons are up against the wall, and Jameis Winston making his season debut, coming back from his Uber situation suspension. Just another sacrificial lamb at the altar of the Me Too movement. Call me what you will. Browns are hosting the Chargers. That's an interesting game. I would give that. A 2 antlers on the antler excited-o-meter. Same as the Falcons. The antler excited-o-meter is only going to go from 1 to 4. When we rank movies, it's 1 to 5. So 4 being the highest and 2 being the middle ground, 0 being I could care less about this game. You got that,
0 is
0 is just bad.
No,
Not
zero,
even.
Look.
So I'll give the excitedness, and you give the internationally accepted sign of antlerhood. Okay, so the first game, Buccaneers and Falcons, I'll give that 2.5. I find that very interesting. 1, because Jameis Winston's kind of coming back, and 2, because really you gotta do it. You gotta do it silently, though. You gotta do it silently. The is implied. And the Falcons. It's the Falcons' season on the line here, and the return of Jameis Winston. Very, very interesting game. Chargers at the Browns. The Browns are always interesting. This was the greatest year of Hard Knocks. I'm a huge Hard Knocks fan. Love the show every year. This was the best Hard Knocks year since the Rex Ryan Let's Get a Snack year, which was the best one ever. I'm still a fan of Rex Ryan off the field. Actually, I miss him on the field. And I'll tell you, every time the Patriots played the Jets in a big game, Rex Ryan gave the Patriots fits, I'll tell you. Especially that one up in Foxborough when New England was 14-2, and Brady hadn't thrown an interception in 16 years, in his first pass was an interception. And they went on to lose the game. But I'm over that one, kind of. So the Chargers at the Browns. I'm going to give that one 2.5 antlers of excitement, simply because it's Baker Mayfield and the Browns, and the Chargers are extremely interesting team as always. Let's as we're doing this, let's look at the. See, the lines don't coincide with what we're doing, so we're gonna have to search here. Let's see here. I'm sorry. Atlanta's giving 3 at home to Tampa Bay. That's a really, really, really. I'm gonna write that down. ATL -3 in a game that Atlanta has to have with future Hall of Famer Matt Ryan still the quarterback, against what, in my opinion, is still not a good Tampa Bay team. We'll see what they do with their quarterback coming back. Cleveland, stop moving back and forth on me and making that noise, please. Cleveland's getting one at home from the Chargers. That's interesting too. All right, so let's go back to the schedule here. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. I really like the Falcons only giving 3 at home.
Well, you're not supposed to lie.
To Tampa Bay. I'm not supposed to lie now. Jets are at home versus the Colts. The Jets coming off of that, phenomenal, fantastic home win where they ran for over 300 yards against the Broncos. I think the Jets are going to continue their winning ways at home versus the Colts there. The Colts are still finding their way with Andrew Luck, but I think that's going to be a tough game because you got a phenomenal, possibly generational quarterback getting his groove back on like Stella. And the Jets quarterback, still a rookie, still finding his way. So I'm going to give that one 2 antlers of excitement since my internationally accepted sign language of antlerhood. There she is. 2 antlers of excitement. This next one, Seahawks and the Raiders. I know. The Seahawks and the Raiders, the old AFC West rivalry rematch rekindling. I believe this one is taking place in London, if I'm not mistaken, because the game is on at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Yep, they are in London, right? Oh, there it is. Yep, they're in London for the game, which is, of course, always interesting and difficult on the team. So it makes it impossible to really predict what's going to happen. The Raiders are the home team. The Raiders are the home team. You're moving to Vegas, and then you give your fans only 7 home games. Real nice of you guys. No wonder why, a class organization. Nice thing to do. I don't know. I have no feeling on this game. I have very little interest in this game outside of the fact that my brother's a diehard Seahawk fan and a member of the Seahawk podcast affiliates there. I'm going to give this one antler. I have very little interest in this game. I expect the Seahawks to win just because the Raiders are imploding disaster, but who knows? It's all the way in London. The Panthers are at Washington, taking on the Redskins. Redskins in that division, still very much alive. Panthers, I still feel, are one of the class acts, if you will. And by class act, I mean one of the top-tier teams in the NFC. I think you got the Panthers. I think you got the Rams, obviously, and you got the Saints. I think those are the 3, and I'm not going to fall asleep on the Eagles because I still have memories of what the Eagles did to us back in February. So I'm going to go. That's still not a very exciting game. Doesn't really get the antlers all fired up. I'll give it 1.5 antlers of excitedness there. The Panthers at the Redskins. I think the Panthers should handle this one, but the Panthers are a funny team. They have a lot of trouble with teams that they should handle very well, and Cam Newton is certainly a different quarterback on the road than he is at home. And now we got the Bills versus the Texans. Okay, that game does absolutely nothing for me. To not very good organizations. I don't think the Texans are very well for the amount of talent that's on both sides of the ball, and the amount of execution that the Texans give you. Disappoints me on many levels. I think their entire coaching staff needs to be changed over. The Bills are, the model of modern NFL these days. They're absolutely, completely, and thoroughly inconsistent. You never know what you're going to get. Have a couple of friends of mine that are diehard Bills fans, so it makes it more interesting that way. What? The Texans are giving the Bills 10 points at home. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. The Texans should not be giving anybody in the NCAA 10 points at home. That's really, okay. That's what it says. So the Texans are giving the Bills 10 points at home. That's embarrassing. Where? How does that? Really, that much money is being put on the Texans?
Hi, Chubby.
Okay. Next up on the docket, the Vikings. So that one. Now that because of that line, I'm telling you right now, because of that line, I don't know if that's gonna be.
You're a good girl.
Tell you right now, that's gonna be one of the things that I'm definitely putting at least a quarter on this Sunday. That and the Falcons are jumping out at me, and I also like Cleveland, but I'm gonna stay away from that because Philip Rivers. I don't like to gamble on games that involve Philip Rivers. He is just, you never know what you're gonna get. He is the king of the backdoor, ruination over under cover any direction. In my opinion, I am going to rate it. Yep, but the ratings are changing.
Chubby.
We got a texter. Stop, Sophie. Stop. We got a texter texting in here. Question. We got a question here for our co-host. It says, I believe So-So's jersey says Bonner. When did you play for the Canes? Definitely need a signed jersey. Oh, he would like a signed jersey from you.
Who?
One of the fans at home, Uncle Sal.
Oh.
He's a big fan of the show. Big fan of you. And Uncle Sal's one of my all-time favorite hockey players. Had the privilege of coaching him and his two brothers for decades on the Moose organization.
Wait.
He wants a signed Canes jersey from you. This is her junior Hurricanes sweater. I guess her away sweater. It would be nowadays.
Wait, what did he say?
He wants a signed So-So Hurricanes jersey because he wasn't aware that you played on the Hurricanes. That's all. So he wants you to sign a jersey.
I said that for the first time I came.
Well, maybe he didn't pay attention. Maybe he was busy. Maybe he had to pretend like he was paying attention to work. People got to do that. So definitely now my interest in this game has been piqued simply because of Vegas. Thank you, Vegas. This is why gambling is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It creates interest where there wasn't interest. So now that I'm going to be taking the Bills, getting 10 points on the road at Houston, that's going to raise up my personal interest, which should raise up your personal interest because it's reciprocal. We're going to raise it up to 2.5 antlers, ladies and gentlemen, on the excited level. 2.5, please. Rocket can't do it. He doesn't have antlers. You got to do it. Raise it up. 1, 2.5. Well, that was a weak head. There was no bending of the head. Come on, if you're gonna be a bear, be a grizzly, not a girl. All right, next up on the docket, the Cardinals are visiting the Vikings. I have no interest in this game at all. The Vikings are gonna mop the floor with them. The Cardinals got a win last week, so they're feeling better about themselves. Josh Rosen looks like he's an NFL quarterback, but the Vikings are riding the ship. The Vikings had their slip up against Buffalo. They didn't play well out in they played decent out in Los Angeles the game after, but then they righted the ship last week against the Eagles. They are not going to come home and slip up again. The Cardinals are in a very bad situation here because the Vikings already took a team too lightly at home, and that's not going to happen again. The line here.
Wait, so Sal wants to sign one of these?
Right.
Okay.
Vikings are giving 10.5. Yeah, that's about right. So I wouldn't touch that as far as gambling goes. Although if anything, I would take the Vikings to cover that, but I wouldn't. Doesn't excite me to gamble on it, and doesn't excite me to watch. So that one's going to get that one. Although my mom and Coach Folkman are both huge Viking fans, so for them, I have a little bit of rooting interest. I'll root for the Vikings for them, but still, interest-wise, it's just one antler. Just one antler, honey. Can we give the one antler, not Rocket, you? Okay, Rocket's going to do it for us. Okay, this one. This is these next two here on the docket thoroughly excite me. Steelers at the Bengals. Bengals are in first place, 4-1. Steelers come in, I think, 2-1. Let me see. Let me make sure that that's a correct statement. Yeah, Steelers are 2-1. Bengals are 4-1. So with that coming into the affair, that's a big one. This is a typical spot in the season where the Bengals stumble and go back to being the Bungles. We'll see what happens. Let's check the betting line on this one. But even without the gambling aspect of it, this one really piques me. Bengals are given 1.5. That's not a lot, but I still wouldn't touch it though. They're still the Bengals. I can't. The Steelers really looked like they may have righted the ship last week against the Falcons. So this is a typical Bengals. Are they the Bengals?
Wait, who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for the Bengals. Are they the Bengals or are they the Bungles? So we'll see. I'll definitely be rooting. This is a very interesting game, very big game. We're going to give this one 3 antlers of excitement. So go ahead. There you go. There you go. Nice. Make sure those digits get up.
1.5?
No, just 3. Make sure those digits get up towards the sun, honey. Very important. Okay? All right. Now, we have to pick up the pace here. We're running out of time. Okay, the next one on the docket really, really excites me. Believe it or not, this might be my most excited game of the 1 o'clock tilts here, even though it's an interesting game. But I really want to see where these two teams are. This is the Bears.
Where are they?
Where are they? This is the Bears at the Dolphins.
Where are they?
Now, the Miami is a very, very tough place for teams to play. A lot of good teams go down to Miami, and trust me, I know this as a Patriot fan. Once a year. Miami's a very tough place to play, not just because of the weather. The weather shouldn't be too much of a factor now. It should start to cool off. We'll check that out. But Miami has got a very affluent and exciting nightlife. And the Dolphins are getting at home, huh? Dolphins are getting 3.5. Nah. I can't touch that, so the gambling. I still think the Bears are going, or the better team should win the game. The Bears have been on fire. Let's see if the Bears are for real. But I'm very interested in this game. This game's going to get 3 antlers of excitement, honey. So go ahead. You don't have to put your headphones on there. The 3 antlers of excitement. So go ahead. Okay, go ahead. We've only got five minutes left. 1, 2, 3 antlers. Oh, and a wiggle. 3 and a wiggle. I like that. 3 antlers of excitement there. That's my number 1 game for 1 o'clock. Just as far as interest goes, because I really want to see where these two teams. Where are they? The Dolphins have lost 2 in a row. They lost that tough one at Cincinnati. They look good for 3 quarters, and then they look terrible. And the Bears, are the Bears for real? Yeah, the Bears are for real. But this is going to be a tough game for the Bears. I don't like it gambling wise, because like I said, I don't know where each team is, and I don't like the Dolphins getting points at home. I wouldn't take the Bears giving 3.5 on the road in Miami because, like I said, the nightlife in Miami tends to affect how teams perform on Sunday. Say what you will, ladies and gentlemen, but these are young men with a lot of money in their pockets. You've got to take that into account. Ace Rothstein taught me that. Heading over to the 4 o'clock tilts, there's 3 of them going on. The Rams are visiting the Broncos. That's going to be an extremely tough game for the Rams. That's an interesting game. Broncos are not as bad as they've appeared the last 2 weeks, and Rams had a real tough test last week in Seattle. Let's see how they do this week in Denver in the high altitude, and that's another place you got to take into account where they are because of the laws in Denver. Oh my, oh golly, oh dear. This one's, ladies and gentlemen, it's a must. We can't even think about it. We've got to go with the rule here, ladies and gentlemen. The Denver Broncos, ding, 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 absolutely have to take it. The Denver Broncos are getting 7 points at home.
Wait, what does giving points mean?
That means that if you bet the Denver Broncos to be your lock, that means that when you turn the game on, they're winning 7-0 as far as you're concerned. So if the Broncos lose the game 7-3, you would win the game 10-3 because you get those 7 points as far as winning a toy goes. That's all you need to know. So the Broncos are getting 7 points at home from the Rams. Seattle was getting 7.5 from the Rams last week. Seattle covered. As you all know, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a fan of the show, and we want to thank you very much for being big fans, a home team in the NFL getting more than 6.5 points covers 85% of the time. So you can't not think about it. You've got to go. And every time it happens, it's hard because usually the team getting that many points at home is playing a very good team, and the team getting that much at home is not a good team. This Bronco team's actually not a bad team at all. So for them to be getting 7 points, you can't think about it. You can't even analyze it. They're getting more than 6.5. Boom, take it, lock it. Well, it's a lockdown. It's a mathematical lock. There's no heart involved. This is all mind. Even though this show, I asked you to be a scarecrow. I asked you to enjoy the scarecrowedness of the show, leaving rational and mind things at home. But sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, math is math, and I love math. Why would they change math? Math is math, which is why I am the greatest political scientist of all time. That'll be another show for another time. I know people don't like to mix their sports and politics unless people are pontificating politically against what everybody thinks that it's okay to pontificate against. If you pontificate in the other direction, then don't mix the sports and politics. Thank you, honey, for bringing me back to where. See, that's your role in the show. You're like a gravitational black hole. You bring me back to the center where I need to be. So I'm gonna rate this. 2.5 because I'm gonna have an eye on it because I'm gonna have money on the Rams. 50 cents. You might have a toy on the Rams. So and we've got quite a few family members that are Broncos fans. Your uncle and your aunt are diehard Broncos fans, and we're going to be having a football podcast coming soon. That's also going to be.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah, I know. I haven't started that, and I blame myself, but that's another story for another time. So the Rams and Broncos, 2.5 antlers of excitement for me and for you, and it's the 4 o'clock game. The 4 o'clock games, you always got to find, So after that, the Ravens are at the Titans. Two teams that are headed in God knows what direction. The Ravens lost a tough one to the Browns in overtime. They're 3-2. Titans are 3-2. I don't even want to know what the line is, but I'm going to look up the line here in the game. The game itself doesn't really excite me. I'll be rooting for the Titans as a Patriot fan because the Ravens and the Steelers are two teams that are not afraid of the Patriots. The Patriots can't run out of the building. Looking for the line here. What's the line this on? The Titans are... Baltimore's giving the Titans 3 at home. I guess I'd take the Titans, but I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot caliprod. So my level of excitement for this, it's going to be 2 because I'll keep an eye on it because there's only 3 games on at 4 o'clock. And also I'll be rooting for the Titans as a Patriot fan. So 2 antlers of excitement for that one. Coming up, the one after that is a very interesting game. My minimal excitement for any Cowboy game is always going to be 2.5 antlers because the wife and the son are Cowboys fans. So you start off with that as no minimum. I said minimum. The Jaguars, I want the Jaguars to lose thoroughly. The Jaguars are in a lot of trouble at the running back position. Cowboys are a good deal. Let's see. Let's check the line on this. If the Cowboys are getting more than 5 at home, I would definitely consider taking the Cowboys are getting 3. Yeah. Yep, Vegas knows. So I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot caliprod as far as gambling goes. But I do like the Cowboys to win this game. I do like the Cowboys at home. I think Jacksonville's defense is awesome, but Cowboys' offense isn't that good anyway. But I think the Cowboys find a way to win this game. Then the big one on Sunday night, the Patriots at home versus the Chiefs. Of course, the Chiefs have the greatest quarterback, greatest coach, greatest offense.
You didn't rate the Cowboys.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Cowboys game's going to get 3 antlers of excitement, 2.5 because of household family reasons, and 1.5 because I'm certainly going to be rooting for the Cowboys against the Jaguars for Patriot reasons. Okay. Oh wow. Patriots. I never gamble on my own team because the heart gets way too much involved in the mind. Patriots are giving 3 at home to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the greatest team ever created on the earth, greatest quarterback ever, greatest coach, greatest tight end, wide receiver, and running back. However, with all that being said, and all how I think the Patriots are going to win the game. I would certainly not gamble on this game for a couple of reasons. One, the Chiefs are awesome. It's not a lie. Chiefs defense is pathetic. The Patriot defense is not very great as of yet. However, Andy Reid and the Chiefs generally, especially in the first half of the season, handle the Patriots very well for whatever reason. So, gun to my head though, I think the Patriots are going to win the game, but I think the Patriots are going to win 99.9% of the games that they take the field. I didn't think they were going to win this year in Jacksonville. I saw that one coming a mile away. It was early on. Then it was 110 degrees when they took the field, and there was a multitude of things going on. Edelman wasn't there. But now you've got Edelman, you've got Gronk, you've got Sonny Michel, you've got who's the quarterback for the Patriots? I forgot. What's his name? What's his name? The quarterback.
Number 12.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady, the second greatest human to walk the planet since that nice Jewish carpenter from Nazareth. So I think the Patriots are going to win. And Uncle Sal, I think that you and I should have a little side bet on this. I believe that you are a Chiefs fan.
Wait.
So I think that we should gamble maybe.
Uncle Sal should get one of my jerseys next year because we're getting
That's
Adidas.
true. Uncle Sal, she could send you this one next year. They're getting upgraded to Adidas, so she can sign this one for you, send it to you. But you and I think we should bet a little lunch on this, maybe a little Salpinos versus something down
I'm
here.
hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. So we'll talk, Uncle Sal,
How much
and
minute?
we'll put it.
We only have 5 minutes.
Coming to an end. And then the Monday. Oh, so this game, it's the Patriots. So 4 antlers of excitement for me because it's the Patriots. It can't be anything less than 4. It's impossible. Well, it's the Sunday night game, and Sophie, you get permission to stay up late on Sunday because it's the Patriots, so you get to watch it with me. Because you know what Daddy always says: athletics before education. And the final game on Monday night, the Packers are at home against the 49ers. Oh God, what a terrible Monday night game! I guess they were counting on Jimmy G being there, but he's not. The Packers are giving 9.5. I will not give that many points at all.
There you go, Chubby. You can go.
So my mathematical lock for the weekend is going to be the Broncos getting 7, but my also lock for the weekend, the lock I'm handing out, the Scotty Elmo's World, is going to be the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons
Elmo's World.
giving 3 to just the Buccaneers there in Atlanta.
So that's your lock?
My lock is the Atlanta Falcons giving 3 for the weekend because we can only give 1
Ooh.
over the weekend.
I know my. Wait, can
There's
you
a
give
lot
me?
going on in hockey this weekend. We didn't
Yeah,
get a chance
can
to
you,
touch on, but that's okay. Yes.
Ooh, I have a lock for my game.
Okay. What is your lock? Lock it up. I'm writing it down. This is my
Wait,
lock.
can I do it for my game?
What, your game that you're playing in?
Mhm.
You're not allowed to gamble on games you're playing in. Pete Rose got banned for that. I can't have that. Can't have that on my conscience. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
What?
You're gonna say what? I want to hear what you have to say.
I was gonna gamble for my game.
Your game you're playing in? But we don't even have a line. Vegas doesn't have a line on it because they're not sure about the other team's injuries. No, you gotta pick one of these football games, honey. Who do you?
Does it have to be football?
No. You want to do hockey?
Mhm.
Okay, hold on. We're really running out. Oh, for the Monday night game, one
Monday night.
one antler of excitement. simply only because there's nothing else on, so it's the Monday night game. There are no hockey games on tonight. Nice job, NHL, because there's so much going on. There's one baseball game. Way to kiss the butt of other things. Okay, so tomorrow we've got the Golden Knights at the Flyers, Oilers at the Rangers, Connor McDavid, Kings, Senators, Red Wings, Bruins, Hurricanes are at the Wild. To the Wild. Blue Jackets, Lightning, Canucks, Panthers. Wow, a lot of games tomorrow. Ooh, Maple Leafs, the Capitals. That's a big one to watch. Let's go, Ovi. Let's go, Ovi. Ovi, you're gonna take the pajamas. You're gonna give him a wedgie. You're gonna hang him up on the boards by his pajamas. That's what you're gonna do for us, Ovi. Islanders are at the Predators tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Blues,
Ducks,
Blackhawks. That's a good
Ducks, Stars.
one. Ducks, Stars. That take the over in that one. I like that. So
Wait, Islanders what?
Islanders are at Nashville, Predators. So what game do you like here? Who do you think's gonna win?
I think I'm not rooting against the Islanders, but I think the
That's not allowed. You gotta pick another game.
But,
If you're picking against the Islanders, it's not allowed.
what?
If you're picking against the Islanders, it's not allowed.
What did you say? I couldn't hear you.
If you're picking against the Islanders, it's not allowed.
What?
Go ahead, pick another game.
But
Go ahead.
but
All right, is that your lock?
yes.
All right, but I'm not buying you a toy if the Islanders lose.
What?
I'm telling you right now, not happening.
You have
Not
to buy
happening.
me a toy today.
I don't have to do you anything.
You have to
okay.
buy me a toy. I already won
that's
one
what
lock.
That's what your lock, yeah, but not this one. You can pick it, but you're not
Fine.
gonna get rewarded.
But what?
Listen, we got 2 minutes, so decide. You can pick it, but you're not gonna get rewarded. I like the Capitals. You can go all the way to stop.
Wait, Hurricanes, Jets.
Hurricanes, Jets. That's on Sunday night.
I know.
That's gonna be a good game. Wow, Sunday night. Hurricanes, Jets. Set your VCR for that one, ladies and gentlemen. So the Hurricanes are playing the Jets
But
on
I
Sunday
don't know.
night, and the
I'm
Patriots are playing
thinking
on
which
Sunday
one
night?
should win. Which one will win?
Well, you got to decide within a minute. You got a minute to decide.
Ah.
Big game on Saturday.
No,
though.
no.
Capitals and Maple
I know.
Leafs.
I'm not doing the I'm gonna keep. No.
All right.
I'm doing. Whoa. I'm doing that one.
Which one?
That one.
Which one?
That one.
The Islanders Predators? Okay, who are you taking?
Predators are gonna win. We do a not that good team.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Welcome to Glenda show. I myself, as a father, and failed, and I'm devastated by my daughter's selection there.
But we don't have a good team.
The Islanders are going to win that game now.
No, they're not.
And if they win, and if you, then you're going to lose the toy that you.
Then I'm
that
gonna have to buy a toy for you.
I like the Capitals on Saturday night against the Maple Leafs at home.
You're gonna have to buy me a toy today.
Simply because I want that to happen so bad. So I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. This has been the Glenda Love Broadcasting Network. You have been watching Welcome to Glenda. And don't forget this weekend the debut of Sophie's Sports and Toy Emporium show, which the name may change. We're not quite sure.
Probably will.
But thank you so much for tuning in. I want to wish you guys a great weekend. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the hockey. Remember, take the Broncos getting 7 at home versus the Rams. Take the Falcons giving only 3 at home. I guess Sophie says take the Predators. Definitely take the Capitals on Saturday night versus the Leafs. But my lock of the weekend, the one lock from Scotty, Falcons giving 3. Sophie's lock of the Predators at home versus the Islanders. Good night, everybody. We'll see you on Monday. See ya.
From the mountain to the prairie.